Ladies and gentlemen, it is the final day of our 5 reviews in 5 days. Little thing for April Fool's Day. So I thought, let us end this off on a high note. While we are keeping to the theme of things being fairly cheap, in this series, I think this is one of the things that I really value for money. And that would be this guy right here. Yes, this is a drone, this is a quadcopter. This is the Eachine E010. Now it comes in a box like this, so it's a fairly large box. And as it turns out, this is not the only model in the series, nor is it, the only sort of manufacturer that's building this sort of stuff, right? There is another brand called JJRC that also builds drones like this one. Of course, they use different sets of colors. There's, I believe, blue and black, whereas this brand gives you ones in red and green. Of course, I got a red one for better visibility outdoors. The box comes with the drone, a controller, as well as, charging cable and spare blades. And the good thing about this is that it has blade guards, so you're not going to ruin the blades, unless you really, make it go upside down and sort of mess with the blades. So yeah, even the replacement blades are honestly not all that necessary. Of course, it comes with one battery as well, which is a little battery pack like this. So, this drone is actually not the easiest in the world to fly. The controls are quite interesting. Basically, your left stick is a throttle, so the higher up you push, the faster the blades go. These would cause the drone to basically go in, one of the 4 directions, and while pulling these left and right will cause the drone to spin on the spot. This quadcopter comes equipped with 2 speeds, so you can press this button and switch between a high speed mode and a low speed mode. And what that usually means is, how much it's allowed to tilt, which in turn causes it to move at a certain speed, right? The more it tilts, the faster it goes in that particular speed. It also has a stunt option, so it can do flips, right? You press this, you push this in one direction, and it flips in that direction. Of course, you do need to be able to sort of handle the throttle right, so it doesn't just drop to the ground. Like I said, it's not the easiest in the world to control, but with something like this, right, you're not really worried of hurting anyone. Even if it really does break, you are not really losing a whole lot. So yeah, definitely a worthy investment to just get used to how to actually fly. Now, there are types of drones out there where, the drone actually has a lot of logic in it, right? It's able to hold its position, it's able to maintain its height. This drone does none of that. You're the one manually controlling the throttle. If you want it to stay still, you've got to shift it when the wind blows it around. So it is a little bit more challenging in that respect. But if you really want to learn how to fly a drone, you want to start with a drone like this. You want to start with one that doesn't try and, basically take care of you. So yeah, having said that, let us actually cut to a montage of me just flying the drone and showing off its features. And there you go, that is this little guy in action. Now, let's talk a little bit of pros and cons. Firstly, some obvious, detriments, right, that I see in this is that, everything is plastic, right? And yeah, what this means is, it can only take knocks in a very limited capacity, so that's one thing you have to look out for. Secondly, everything does feel a little bit flimsy. See, these are cables, right, just tiny wires to power these motors, so you have to be very, very careful. There is no power switch, right? If you plug in the battery, it comes on. If you pull it out, it goes off. So yeah, everything feels very raw, just slightly unpolished. What this means is, you have to be extra careful when you're dealing with it, right? You don't want to accidentally damage anything. I'm trying to get a battery out here. As you can see, this is literally just a battery pack with a cable sticking out. So it took me a while to get the battery out, but here it is, right? Just a tiny little battery pack. And yeah, the cable that comes, with it is also very delicate. Essentially, the cable looks something like this. You plug one end into USB, and yeah, you just got this flimsy little thing. Right, it connects to the battery like that, and yeah, it charges it. So everything here is just slightly flimsy, and what that means is you do have to take a little bit of extra care when you're handling all the parts. Other than that, the rest of the issues are fairly excusable. For a drone this small, it's not going to be able to fly against strong wind, right? I wouldn't expect anything else. Basically, if there is any wind at all, you will feel this drone get sort of pushed around, right? And you will need to sort of push your stick in the opposite direction to counter for that effect. It's able to hold its own against small gusts of wind, even if that may make it sort of drop. So it comes down to you being able to handle such situations. The battery life is fairly short. It takes about half an hour to charge completely, and you drain it out within about 7 to 10 minutes. What this means is if you're going to buy this drone, you are probably going to get spare batteries as well. What I've actually done is I've gotten a spare charging cable as well as 2 spare batteries. The idea is we have 1 in the drone and 2 charging at the same time. It's a little bit hard to get batteries. They like to sell it in a pack of 5 that comes with a charger as well, and the whole thing costs as much as this drone. So yeah, getting the batteries separately actually does cost you a little bit more. So that is one thing you have to look out for. I think 3 batteries are fairly reasonable. With 3 batteries, you get about, approximately half an hour of flight. You'll probably want to look into that. The whole thing plus shipping should run you 30 or slightly less. So yeah, still a very worthy investment, to sort of get started with the world of drones. I've had a lot of fun playing with this, and yeah, if you ever are interested, I do recommend this or its similar models. Of course, other mini drones exist as well. You'll have to look into the feature set, you have to look into reviews to see whether it's good or not. This one in particular, I can highly recommend. While it is delicate, just be nice to it and you'll be fine. So yeah, this has been the Eachine E010 little quadcopter. That's all there is for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. That wraps it up for our entire 5 reviews in 5 days little project. I hope you've had fun with this. But yeah, our regularly scheduled programming will return next week. Thank you very much for following this series. Until next time, you're watching 0612 TV with NERDfirst.net. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my work and are feeling generous, you can shoot me a one-time donation on PayPal or sign up for a recurring one on Patreon. Of course, you can simply like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. For more videos, links to my channel and a related playlist are on screen. Thank you for your support.